Is no contact applicable after a short-term relationship? This is Coach Alex. I am Coach Adrian. This is Love Advice TV, and we do this podcast and these videos to help answer frequently asked questions that we get from individuals all over the world. And many of you who are coming out of a short-term relationship are a little bit stuck. You don't know if you should do no contact, if no contact is applicable to you because you only were together for a short period of time, sometimes days, and not even a few months together. And so you want to make sure that you apply a strategy that will help you not only reconnect with your significant other, but also quickly get back together. And so we wanted to take this question that was actually asked in one of our other podcasts that we've done and really talk about it and shed some light on this very important question. Coach Alex, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Coach Adrian.
Fantastic. Are you excited about this topic?
I'm really excited, and I want to tell you guys that you are not alone. I've just realized that we are coaching more and more people after a short-term relationship. And a short-term relationship could be a couple of months, but also a couple of dates only. Mm-hmm. And so you don't know how to navigate because sometimes we feel that this is the right person for us. We feel that the connection was amazing, and in the meantime, it stopped for any reason. So I want you to know that you are not by yourself. You are not lonely. We know a lot about these situations, and so in this podcast video, we want to dive in together on this topic.
Absolutely. And the reality is that you're asking yourself this question because you are afraid of losing this person that you love. You're afraid that they're just going to forget about you, they're going to move on, they're going to find someone else. And so you want to act quickly, but at the same time, I know that this is a very legitimate question because you intuitively know that you cannot let too much time pass before reconnecting with this person in order to continue to build momentum and to not completely fall out of each other's life. And so the question then becomes, when is no contact applicable? When is it not? Mm-hmm. And how do we find a balance?
So that's a good question as well, because when you look at our videos at Love Advice TV, when you look at our website, we also have even a training on the no contact, because we know that this is the most powerful technique to get an ex back. It's a powerful technique because you allow yourself to rebuild yourself, right? To work on yourself, to understand your mistakes, and also what are the actions that you need to implement to grow and to improve yourself. That's really where we are and what we do at Love Advice TV. Mm-hmm. When we talk about short-term relationship, based on my philosophy, I realized that the no contact is not always the best answer. It's not always the best response or the best action. And the reason why, it's because if we let too much time pass, we can also let the person just create more anger, more negative emotions. They will maybe also forget a little bit about you. And so you are scared, right? So you want to act fast. The problem by acting fast is that you become needy. So we have to define when you should use the no contact, for how long, and when you should not use the no contact. So this is where we really tailor our advice. This is why we do private coaching as well. It's because we want to make sure that we target your needs. But if I answer the question, Coach Adrian, I would say that most of the time, I would not recommend the no contact as we know about it, meaning like the 30 days where we have a strict no contact. I would just use the distance, meaning that I want my ex to come to, I want your ex to come to you. I want your ex to text you, to call you. And if they don't do the first step, then we can do it, but in a certain way that I will tackle after. Mm-hmm. But I want your opinion, Coach Adrian. After a short-term relationship, Do you see yourself recommending the no contact more often, or just the distance, the radio silence?
Yes, so it's a very good question. Looking back, I think that if we think about no contact as a technique, it may not be applicable. If we see no contact as really a mindset, then definitely it is applicable. And Coach Alex referred to it as radio silence or distance a few minutes ago. We can look at it in a different way. And ultimately, it's about making sure that, number one, you understand the reality of your relationship, of your situation, of your breakup, and that you come up with an approach and a strategy that is relevant to where things went wrong and the mindset that you're both in. And ultimately, what we want to do is to make sure that you take an approach where you are more distant, more detached, and not putting your significant other on a pedestal, not forcing contact, and creating the conditions by which this person can also want to engage with you and stay connected, and where they don't feel threatened or as if you are chasing them and acting desperate. So if we see that as the no contact mindset, then yes, it's applicable in any type of breakup, even if you were together just for a few short dates. I was just coaching a young man in the plains, in the northern Midwest part of the US. And after a few dates, the relationship fell apart because he was too eager. He expressed his love, his desire to move the relationship forward. A beautiful soul who was just perhaps too honest, too transparent about his feelings and his intention, and it became a burden for this woman who lost interest because he was too eager. So in this situation, of course, you want to balance that approach and offer something new, which entails taking a step back. But being distant can also mean reaching out in a way that's not seeking their validation and their attention, or really thinking about his response in a way where it's mirroring the ex's behavior and not trying to kind of push the process forward. And so you can take an action, you can reach out or respond to an ex in a way that's not needy. That's actually, where you are asserting yourself and being more distant than you have been in order to get them to fill that void and to want to continue to get that reassurance and that validation that you still care and that you still want to be with them. So whether you were together for just a couple of dates, even if you didn't really start to date, or you were together for 25 years, that mindset and approach to radio silence or to no contact is applicable. Now, if you're thinking about it as a technique, strict number of days that where you're not going to reach out, you're not going to respond, that may not be applicable in a short-term relationship.
I love what you mentioned, Coach Adrian, because it gives you guys options. And it's what I call the technique of the push and pull. So I can do actions. Even if I do a no contact, when I use this as a mindset and not as a technique, I can reach out to my ex and show that I'm doing new things for myself. This is a sign of change. This is a sign that in a short-term relationship, your ex can be open-minded and that she or he will want to talk to you instead of being closed-minded and just telling yourself, I need the distance, I need to not respond. Because I've seen so many people in a short-term relationship, they will apply the no contact as a technique, so they don't respond to their ex. It creates more arguments, and it's kind of like they are waiting some time on this magic solution that after 30 days, the ex will come back and ask to get back together. But in reality, if you don't respond, you can also touch their ego. And if you touch your ex ego, they will not communicate the same way or the right way. So I really love the idea of the no contact mindset that will allow you more flexibility based on your situation, based also on your mistakes. Because for me, when you are too eager or too needy or too available, we have to do a couple of days of distance at least, because we need to show that we will not overwhelmed our ex. This is the one thing where I will tell you that in a short-term relationship, if you have been very needy, very codependent, you need to apply the distance. That will be a must, a need. Not maybe a no contact, but at least a distance.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Can you think of situations where you've coached clients in the past where your advice was to do a strict no contact technique after a short-term relationship? Or I can ask it another way. Are there times when it is actually appropriate to do a hard no contact after a short-term relationship?
I think it's in two situations. Situation number one, I know that I will recommend a strict no contact, and I will tell that person, I know that I've said in my videos that it's not always the need, right. But they will tell me, because there is my program as well on the short-term relationship. I tell you, I want you to wait 4 or 5 days, not more. You don't have to wait more. But in certain cases, when you have done a lot of mistakes, let's say, for example, that you really harass your ex, like they blocked you, they don't want to talk to you, they feel very overwhelmed. That's when we need to do the no contact. Because it's not the length of the relationship, but it's the mindset and the emotions of your ex that will be very important at this stage. Situation number two, it's when I figured that the relationship was toxic. Let's say that you are in a short-term relationship, you are with someone that leaves you for someone else, and when they leave you, they ghost you, and let's say that they will just get all of your money, all of your furniture, they will not care about your emotions. I think that in this case, before to try to get your ex back, you need to rebuild yourself. And it gives also some clarity to your personal development. So these are the two situations where I feel that the no contact will be a must. And it's not a technique to get your ex back. It's most of the time a technique to really reflect on yourself and either choose to get your ex back or to protect yourself if you have been in a toxic situation. Because yes, I've coached people that I was not sure it was a great idea to get back with their ex, so we start to work on themselves. And the no contact at this time is very important. Do you see any other situation?
No, I want to emphasize what you've said because it's so important. And it clarifies a lot of things, actually. It's important for you to understand that this no contact is not a manipulation technique. We are not choosing to not engage so that your ex does. It's first and foremost to help you cope with certain emotions and to help you evolve and grow into the person that you know that you can be. So Coach Alex talked about situation number one, when you've made a lot of mistakes, when you were pushy, needy, desperate. And he suggests really going he said 5 days. I think in most cases it could be even more than
5 days. Usually it's 5 days, but when you have done a lot of mistakes, you need to do the no contact more, almost 21 to 30 days for sure.
Yeah. The point is, even if you only went out together for a couple of dates or you only dated for 1 month, I don't care. If you are in a very vulnerable mindset and not able to control your emotions, you need to go with a strict no contact. There's no point in trying to rush reconnecting with this person if you're not ready, if you're too emotional. You're only going to make more mistakes. So we're not choosing to do a no contact simply to get your ex to miss you, but it's really to give yourself the space, the time, the ability to bounce back and to prepare to engage with them in a meaningful way, to rebuild something new. And the second situation that Coach Alex suggested, where a strict no contact is more than appropriate, is when you're in a somewhat of a toxic dynamic. So you can be blinded by your emotions. You can be consumed by the breakup and by the outcome of being together at all costs. And you start to devalue yourself, lower your values, or do things that you know you would never do or you would never advise someone else to do, because you're in this extremely vulnerable mindset and you start to compromise things that you should not be compromising. And in this situation, of course, no contact is necessary in order for you to regain control. Once you've regained control, then we can re-engage and we can figure out the best way to rebuild attraction, to rebuild a strong foundation and a connection, if your significant other proves to be the right person for you, if they've also grown, if they're willing to invest, a new relationship can unfold, even if you were together for a short period of time.
I love what you mentioned, Coach Adrian, because sometimes when we tell you you have to do a no contact, you feel that it's a punishment. It is not. The no contact is also to help you maximize your chances to change, to attract your ex, to communicate in a better way, and also to learn from the past mistakes. So I would just tell you that when it's a short-term relationship, most of the time, I would not recommend the no contact. I would recommend the distance because it's enough to change and it's enough to recreate some attraction. That's where I specialize. But in certain cases, you have to do the no contact. And this no contact will be the best solution as well to get your ex back. So our goal is to maximize your chances. There is no perfect answer. That's the reason why we do private coaching. And if you come on our website with myexagain.com, there is Coach Adrian, there is Coach Abby, Coach Priyanka, Coach Danny, myself. We are a team of professionals, and what we want to do is to create a game plan that will be tailored to your situation. And if you can't do a private coaching, we have some gifts for you that you have created, Coach Adrian, that are in the description box right below, where we try to dive in more than in the YouTube videos that we are creating.
The conclusion here, you heard it from Coach Alex. Remember this sentence: no contact is not a punishment, it is a protection. And if you think about it in that way, you can really harness the power of no contact, whether you're in a short-term relationship, long-term relationship, no matter what it is. If you see it as a protection and not as a punishment, you will be in the right mindset and you will make the most out of that situation and that time that you have to really work on yourself. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully you now understand the nuances of applying no contact as a technique or as a mindset after a short-term relationship. Please share your experience in the comment section so that others can learn from your experience. If you understand no contact as a protection, not as a punishment, explain how and why. Also, because that will help more and more people also deepen their understanding of this concept and make it applicable for their very situation. By doing that, you will be fighting the good fight alongside us and helping good people all over the world. We are thankful for your support and for your trust. We will do more videos of this kind, more podcasts for you, so that you can continue to move towards reaching the goal that you've set for yourself.
Remember as well to support us with just a simple like button. You need to hit the like button. You need to subscribe, of course, to Love Advice TV YouTube channel, the podcast on Spotify or any platform that you love. We are here for you. And as Coach Adrian mentioned, we want to hear your stories so we can really do videos as well that will help you grow, will help you get back with the one you love, will help you be happy in your love life. So thank you so much, Coach Adrian. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And let's continue the journey. You have to hit the like button, subscribe, and come on with myexagain.com. This is our website with articles, coaching, products. We will just be there for you guys.
Keep fighting the good fight.
Yes.
See you soon.